So there's this old children's book called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. The story goes that if you give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna want a glass of milk. And if you give him milk, he's gonna want a straw. And if you give him a straw, he's gonna want a napkin. And one thing leads to another and another and another. And before you know it, you have gone way beyond just the simple cookie. That is exactly how our house renovations felt. We just needed a new roof. And then once we started, we realized that the siding needed replaced, and then the windows, and then the underpinning, and then there was the cleanup, and then one project seemed to lead to another and another and another, and suddenly we were in the middle of a much bigger mess than we had planned for. It got worse before it got better. In Exodus 5, Moses obeys God, goes to Pharaoh, and says, "Let my people go." But instead of listening, Pharaoh pushes back. And he actually makes the Israelites work harder. No more straw for bricks, same quota every day. And suddenly, obedience feels like a mistake. The Israelites turn on Moses and Aaron in frustration, and they say, "You've made us obnoxious to Pharaoh and put a sword in his hand to kill us." That's the moment we need to pay attention to, because it's real life. When you step into obedience, sometimes things don't get easier. They actually get harder. You start a new discipline and it feels like everything fights against it. You try to make healthy changes and pushback comes. You commit to serving or giving, and then suddenly it feels like this weight has doubled overnight. But here's the truth. Harder doesn't mean wrong. Difficulty doesn't mean God isn't in it. In fact, that season of it got worse may be the very place where God is preparing something better. The Israelites couldn't see it yet, but God was already setting the stage for their freedom. When life feels like it's getting worse instead of better, don't assume you've missed God. Instead, stop, write it down. Write down one specific thing you're frustrated with, and then pray over it and say it out loud. Say, "God, I trust you are working even in this mess." Where in your life have you been tempted to give up because obedience felt harder than expected? And how might God be asking you to trust Him right